Lesson 15. Inbox Ambitions. Email. The ancient scroll of the internet age. Today, you'll master the Mail app without ever peeking at your screen. And you'll learn how to read, reply, and confidently rewrite that awkward late-night draft, all by touch and tone. Get ready to turn that inbox chaos into calm, one flick at a time. Oh, and if you happen to find a fan letter addressed to Amelia, don't be surprised if she insists on reading it out loud.
Understanding the Mail app. Let's start with how the Mail app is structured. Think of it like a neighborhood.
The mailbox level is like driving down the street and seeing everyone's mailboxes. You know where mail might be, but you can't see inside yet. Each mailbox represents a different account.
Then comes the inbox level. This is you peeking inside the mailbox. You can see the envelopes, but not what's inside.
Finally, you have the email view. This is where you tear open the letter and read all the glorious content inside. Maybe it's a newsletter, maybe it's spam, maybe it's Amelia's first fan letter.
Oh, I wish.
And don't forget, use the back button in the upper left corner to move up through levels. It's been your trusty companion since lesson 2. Or even better, just zigzag back with a 2-finger scrub.
Top floor, the mailbox level. We'll start our little tour on the mailbox level. Remember, you can just keep using the back button in the upper left to navigate all the way up to this level. Here, you'll find each of your email accounts listed, along with any folders. This is a long list when all the folders are expanded, so Explore by Touch often gets you there faster. You can double tap to expand or collapse folders, and Mr. Fingers will show us later how to create new folders. Head down to the bottom of this screen, where you'll find a toolbar with a pair of important buttons. The first, Compose. Just activate this button to start a new email, with the focus conveniently placed right inside the To field.
The second button is the Drafts button, another chance at glorious productivity.
Yes, Dieter, we know. Now, let's move on to the inbox level.
The inbox level. Once you select a folder, you're now peeking inside that mailbox. Welcome to the inbox, or folder, level. At the top left, your back button. Trusty as ever, followed by buttons and a very handy search field.
Use the search field to track down old messages, lost thoughts, or whatever Amelia swears she didn't delete.
Yes, now what was I saying? Hope, can the search box help me remember?
It's not that good.
Right, moving on. How about some filtering? Not a strong point for some of us.
Whatever, but yes, you can find the toolbar at the bottom with buttons for Compose and Drafts, along with a button to toggle filtering.
You can use filters to show only unread or flagged messages. Locate the toggle filter button in the toolbar at the bottom. Activating this button can reduce the number of emails showing by only showing unread or flagged emails.
Try the Actions rotor when the focus is on an email. Swipe down to cycle through options like delete, move, flag, reply.
Or do a 1-finger triple tap on a message to open the context menu for even more options. Pro tip: keep your inbox nice and tidy by moving emails to different folders.
If only I could move Amelia's junk mail directly to the recycling bin.
Hey, I call those potential fan letters. Reading emails. From the inbox level, double tap a message to open it. Now you're in the email view, or down at the basement level. Typically, focus moves to the message body and VoiceOver announces message content to let you know where you've landed on this screen. You can find information about this email and other controls above the message content. Just start swiping left or Explore by Touch near the top.
But most will just want to dive right into the message body. So start swiping to the right, or do a 2-finger swipe down to begin continuous reading down the page.
Very handy tip there. And remember, using the rotor can improve navigation in the message body. Use headings or lines as your rotor option, then swipe down to move down to the next heading or line.
Yeah, and many times, the items in an email, like links or buttons, can be activated with a double tap.
You can often find attachments located right above the toolbar at the bottom of the screen. Double tapping an attachment will usually open it and give you access to controls for interacting with that attachment.
Maybe send one to Dieter. He loves a good spreadsheet.
Numbers, columns, delight.
Composing an email. Hit the Compose button, located in the toolbars at the bottom of the inbox and email screens, to start composing a new email. Thankfully, VoiceOver usually focuses right on the To field, and you have a few options here. 1. Use Dictation to have Siri look up email addresses for you using your contacts. For example, if I wanted to send an email to Brian, I could just dictate his name here and then swipe through suggestions from Siri. This means I don't have to use his mrfingers@compuserve.net email address from the days when board modems were a thing. 2. Use handwriting mode to start writing a contact name or email address. This also will utilize Siri and look up potential addresses to use. Swipe past the To field to get into the list of Siri suggestions. 3. If you don't have the email address stored in a contact card, you may need to manually enter the email address using the on-screen keyboard or handwriting mode. Dictation typically does not work in the To field as spaces get added after punctuation. This means if you dictate the @ symbol, VoiceOver usually puts a space after it, making dictated email addresses not work correctly.
Well, that was a lot. I think we need a commercial break after that mouthful.
Moving on. Once you have entered the recipient's email address, you can move focus to a new field, like the CC field, or pass that to the subject field. Double tap on that and dictate away to your heart's content.
So efficient. Be still, my beating heart.
Who knew text fields could be so exhilarating?
Okay, you two, let me get this finished. Moving past the subject field, we encounter the message body. This is a multi-line text field, so you can do all kinds of fun stuff here, like add multiple lines, insert links and images, and format text. Dictation works great here, especially when combined with punctuation and line breaks. Remember to say things like comma, period, or exclamation point while dictating to add them. And the phrase new line is like hitting the return key on the keyboard. Pro tip: make sure your contact cards are complete and up to date, as this saves you so much time when dealing with email addresses.
When you are finished with your manuscript, find the send button in the top right, tap it, and boom, off it goes.
And just like that, your message is launched. A digital pigeon soaring through cyberspace with Teutonic grace.
To the stars, or at least to Brian. Practical tips. Before we go, here are some helpful nuggets. Reply versus reply all. Your boss doesn't need that meme. Your cat? Maybe.
A well-organized inbox is a happy inbox.
Oh yeah, and don't forget to use the messages option on the rotor when you need to switch between messages in a conversation thread.
Practice. Proficiency leads to efficiency.
Demo with Brian.
Good job, guys. Way to go, crew. Now we get to talk about one of my favorite apps on the iPhone, Email. It's great because it allows me to stay connected with the world and, of course, get my orders and directives from my boss, Kurt Dykman. Now, in all seriousness, it's an app that I use quite a bit all throughout the day. And so we're going to take a look at some features, some things that we do that are pretty common. And I'm going to hope to show you guys some ways to do them a little bit more efficiently. And then I'll show off a little bit at the end.
Well, of course, Mr. Fingers would get to show off.
Well, yeah, when you got fingers, it's good to show off, right? Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new folder as a place to kind of put new emails and things, kind of keep things organized. Organizing your inbox is really important because it can get pretty full and out of control pretty easily. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start up at the mailbox level.
Mailboxes, heading.
And then I'm going to locate a button that says Edit.
Edit button. Done.
And once I've clicked the Edit button, I can navigate down here to the bottom.
Drafts. 17 drafts in progress. Button. Toolbar. New mailbox. Button.
And activate this new mailbox.
Cancel. Text field. Is editing. Name. Word mode. Insertion point at start.
And so I'm just going to put in a name here real quick. VoiceOver tutorial.
Text field is editing. VoiceOver tutorial. Word mode. Insertion point at end.
Great. Now I have to pick the location. So I'm going to swipe to the right until I find the button for that.
Clear text. Button. Mailbox location. Heading. Mailbox location. Button. iCloud.
And now I'm going to locate the particular mailbox that I'd like to put this in.
Start videos. @brian.gmail. Important. Start. brian@faft.com.
There we go. And I'll just put it right in there.
Text field is editing. VoiceOver tutorial. Word mode. Insertion point at end.
It has put the focus back on the text field. And if I flick back to the left,
Save button.
I can activate the save button.
Save. Done button.
And now I'm going to activate the done button because I'm done creating the mailbox.
Edit.
Now to find it, I can flick all the way through here, and I'm going to save you guys the pain of listening to me flick through all my folders and stuff. And I'll just try and find it manually here down at the bottom.
Messages. VoiceOver tutorial. No unread messages button.
And there it is, with no unread messages at this point. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how we can apply filters to our inbox and kind of sort that mess out once we get our inbox starting to get full a little bit.
Mailbox at Gmail.
Now that we're in the inbox, I'm going to find an email that we can shoot over to this new folder, except that I would like to find an email that I have flagged earlier. And so I'm going to apply a filter, and I'm going to look for only flagged messages. So if I put the focus down here at the bottom on the toolbar,
Compose button.
and start going to the left from there,
Updated just now. 12 unread. Toggle filter off button.
and there's the toggle filter. I'm going to toggle that on,
Selected. Toggle filter by unread. Flagged on.
and it tells me that right now I am filtering for unread and flagged, but I don't want to see the unread right now. I just want to see the flag. So I'm going to change the filter so that it only shows flagged messages.
Filtered by unread. Flagged button.
And there's a button there. I'm going to activate that.
Filters. Heading.
And you heard we got into a little bit of a context menu, and I can flick to the right.
On button. Include heading. Selected. Unread.
I'm going to deactivate that,
Unread. Selected. Flagged.
and I'm going to leave flag selected so that I can only see my flagged messages, and then go back up here to the done button.
Unread. Include heading. Done button. Gmail. Back button.
And now when I navigate to the middle here and see these messages, it's only going to show me the flagged ones.
Messages. Unread. Flagged. Orange. AppleVis. AppleVis newsletter. AppleVis Unlimited. What's new and noteworthy for February 2025? 3/3/25. Promotions. AppleVis Unlimited. What's new and noteworthy for February 2025? Welcome to the February 2025 edition of AppleVis Unlimited. Your.
All right, so I got a little bit of a preview there, and it tells me what it's a little bit about. So right away, I have read that before. I flagged this as unread earlier for the purposes of this demonstration. So right away, I'm going to mark this as read. So if I start to flick down with the focus on this email, I can get into an actions list.
Archive. Mark as read. Unflag. More. Read later. Drag item. Delete. Activate. Default. Archive. Mark as read.
And I'm back on mark as read. I'm going to mark as read.
Read.
And now if I move the focus away and come back,
Flagged. Orange. App. Flagged. Orange. AppleVis. AppleVis newsletter. AppleVis on.
right, all it says is that it's flagged. It doesn't say that it's unread anymore. Great. So now I'm going to go ahead and move this email. Again, I'm going to flick down through the actions list until I hear more.
AppleVis Unlimited. Flagged. Orange. AppleVis. AppleVis archive. Mark as unflag. More. AppleVis. AppleVis Unlimited. Heading. Close. Button. Reply. Reply all. Forward. Archive mess. Remind me. Unflag. Selected. Red. But purple. But cyan. But yellow. But green. But gray. But mark as unread. Move message. Back button.
And now I'm going to find the folder we just created.
Orders. Security. Trainer talk. Drafts. 2. Send. Junk. Trash. Practice 1. All mail. 600. Gmail. Important. Start. Gmail. Archive. Drafts. NFB. Write. Videos. VoiceOver tutorial.
And activate that.
Selected. VoiceOver. Gmail. Back button.
Now, before we leave, I'm going to go down here and turn my filtering back off.
Toolbar. Filtered by. Flagged. Button. Selected. Toggle filter by. Flagged. On. Button. Toggle filter. Off.
And now my email box is back to normal. So let's go find that email. I'm going to do a 2-finger scrub and go back up to the mailbox level.
Gmail. 11 unread messages. Button.
And then I'm going to scroll down through here and find that folder that we've just created.
Gmail. Archive. 1. Drafts. NFB. Write. No. Videos. VoiceOver tutorial. Button.
And activate that.
Selected. VoiceOver tutorial. Messages. Flagged. Orange. AppleVis. AppleVis newsletter. AppleVis Unlimited. What's new and noteworthy for...
So now that I have that email there, let's take a look at some more actions that we can do with the focus right on it. I'm just going to start to flick down.
Archive. Mark as unread. Unflag. More. Read later. Drag item. Delete. Activate. Default.
And we're back on activate, which is the default. If I wanted to do a reply or something like that, I would have to go through the more menu. But let's see what happens if we're inside an actual email.
Summarize. 1 message. Button. Message content. Message content. AppleVis Unlimited. What's new and no...
All right, with the focus here in the message body, if I start to flick down...
Activate. Default. Archive. Unflag. Reply.
There's reply. If I activate reply, it doesn't go directly into reply. I get some options here.
Reply. AppleVis. AppleVis Unlimited. Heading. Close. Button. Reply.
I can reply.
Reply all. Forward. Archive message. Remind me. Unflag. Selected. Orange. Button.
And then we get into the different color schemes because it is flat. And so that's one way to get to reply quickly. Let's take a look at what happens when we use compose. So I'm going to go back again to the mailbox level.
Messages. Flagged. Orange. AppleVis.
And
AppleVis newsletter.
more.
AppleVis VoiceOver tutorial. Button.
And we're back on that particular folder. Down at the bottom of the mailbox level and the inbox level, there's a toolbar and we can find compose down there.
Updated just now. Compose. Button.
And if I activate that,
2. Text field. Is 2. Text field. Is editing. Character mode. Insertion point at start.
now at this point I could use dictation, but I'm just going to use handwriting. A lot of times I just email myself. And so I just need to put the first few letters of my name in here and it will look me up. So I'm going to spin my rotor clockwise 1 turn
Handwriting.
and
Lowercase.
start to write my name.
E. R. I.
I get about the first 3 letters, get out of the rotor,
Characters.
and then flick to the right.
Add contact. Button. Results. Brian Clark. 1ibany@gmail.com. Button. Brian Clark. Brian@faf.com. Button.
There's my work email, activate that,
Subject. Text field.
and it goes right into the subject. And I can activate that and go through and do all that kind of stuff. Okay, so here's a chance to show off some other cool features of VoiceOver. Right now I've got a keyboard attached to my phone, and so instead of using dictation to fill in the subject field and the message body, I'm just going to type it, and then we're going to show off another really cool new feature using Apple Intelligence. So I'm going to switch my keyboard over here to my phone.
Keyboard hidden.
Get my keyboard going here. And then I'm in the subject field, so I'm just going to type something.
E. L. L. O. Space. T. E. E. Message content. Message body. Text field.
And now
Is
I'm in
editing.
the
Sent
message
from my
body.
iPhone. Character mode. Insertion point at start.
And I'm going to be kind of sloppy here on purpose. I'm just going to type some random things in here, and then I'm going to show you how we can fix some of the stuff using the new Apple Intelligence. But using the keyboard, I can just type right into this text field.
I space T E R E comma there new line. Cap O double space R E space Y O U space U T O D A Y question mark today space cap space L I K E space G O R I L A S space gorillas T space N A P E S period apes space cap I space I K E space G O I N G space going T O space 2 T A E space the Z O O period zoo space cap A O dub space W A S space WA T A E space the W E A T her space weather O V E R space over A E R E question mark there new line B A N A A S space T A S T E G R E A T period great new line cap S I N C E R E L Y space sincerely Y O U R S comma U new line cap B R I A N new line Brian.
Okay, so I've just typed that using a keyboard. Sometimes that can be pretty fast too. Now if I put the focus here and I get it to read again.
Subject hello there text field.
There's the subject.
Message content message body text field is editing. Hi there. How are you today? I like gorillas and apes. I like going to the zoo. How was the weather over there? Bananas taste great. Sincerely yours, Brian. Sent from my iPhone. Character mode. Insertion point between new line and new line at the 157th position.
Okay, so we've got something in there. Now, I'm not particularly happy with that. It's pretty rudimentary. With Apple Intelligence writing tools, we can get some help here. Okay, now once I've disconnected my Bluetooth keyboard, the on-screen keyboard has come back on.
Message body, text field, text format, button.
And there's the ability to format the text if I wanted.
Show writing tools, button.
I'm going to show writing tools.
Writing tools, heading.
And now I get a list of different ways that this could be written differently.
Close, button. Text field. Describe your change. Submit, button. Proofread, button.
I could have it proofread it.
Write, button. Proof, rewrite, button. Friendly, button. Professional, button. Concise, button. Professional, button.
Let's see.
Friendly, button.
I'm going to have them rewrite it friendly.
Rewrite, show original text, button. Finished rewriting.
And let's see
there.
what it did.
How's it? Message content, message body, text field, is editing. Hey there. How's it going? I'm a big fan of gorillas and apes. I love visiting the zoo. Did you have a great time there? Bananas are absolutely delicious. Cheers. Brian. P.S. This message was sent from my iPhone. Selected.
Okay. So you can see how it rewrote that. What if I didn't like that?
Subject, professional, button. Show original text, button. Finished rewriting. Hello, I hope you are doing well. I am an avid enthusiast of gorillas and apes, and I find great joy in visiting zoos. I am curious to know how the weather has been in your area. Bananas are an exceptional treat. Sincerely, Brian sent from my iPhone. Selected.
And you can see professional has a much different flavor and tone. Okay, next let's look at attachments. I have sent myself an attachment to send an email, and so I'd like to fetch it and then even take it to the next step. What I've done is I've sent myself an image that I use GPT, created an image for me for the VoiceOver tutorial, and so I've emailed it to myself. And so I'm going to first locate the email.
Messages. Brian Clark. VoiceOver tutorial backdrop image. 7:15 a.m. Has attachments. Please see attached. Brian Clark.
There we go. I'm going to open it up.
Summarize. One message. Button. Message content. Please see attached.
And if I go down here to the bottom.
Drafts. 18 drafts in toolbar. Compose. Button.
And look right before the toolbar.
More actions. Button. Food. Button. Archive. Button. Message content. VoiceOver tutorial backdrop.jpg. Image.
There's the actual image itself. I can activate that.
Message content inbox. 11 unread image canvas.
And it puts me on the image canvas. Now by default, the controls are not shown. Typically I have to kind of go around here to the bottom and kind of double tap to get the controls to pop up.
Image canvas. Toolbar. Share. Button.
Once you get the toolbar to pop up, you can find the share button.
Image canvas.
And then I'm going to scroll through the list in the share sheet and look for Be My Eyes.
JPEG, error, mess, mail, no, remote, journal, free, zoom, to do, what, more, copy, assign to save image, print, but, add to new quick, create, watch, save to file, recognize with, describe with Be My Eyes, button.
And activate Be My Eyes.
Scribe with, cancel, button, please wait, your message, image, please wait, Be My AI is writing a message. Be My AI, the image, Be My AI, the image features the words VoiceOver tutorial in an arc at the top and VOT in large letters below it. Beneath VOT, there is an illustration of a smartphone with a hand icon pointing at the screen, suggesting interaction or touch. The color scheme is primarily shades of blue on a dark background.
Excellent. So I had given that prompt to GPT and had it make that image for me. And that's kind of what I use as a backdrop right now, at least temporarily. And so we can get those attachments. Now, if I wanted to, I could also go through the share sheet and choose save to files, and I could save that picture to my phone. We'll do that in another later lesson where we talk about the Files app. But there's ways to get attachments directly to our phone. That way we don't have to hunt through emails and look for them like over and over like that. Okay, I'm going to show a couple new features that have come around lately with iOS 18, and these are really helpful. The first is the ability to summarize an email so that you don't have to read the whole thing. And the second is a very convenient way to opt out of emails if you are subscribed to something and you want to get out. So I'm going to go ahead and open an email here.
Nova PBS. These smart glasses can find your information. Yesterday, promotions. This experiment isn't illegal, but it raises ethical questions. If you are having trouble reading this email, view it in your browser. These.
Okay. So this is from Nova, the PBS show. I'm not going to unsubscribe, but it does give me the option here because this is kind of like a newsletter. So I'm going to open the email.
Summarize. One message. Button. Message header. These smart glasses can... Yesterday. 2. Brian Clark. From. Nova. Unsubscribe. But. Close. Button. This message is from a mailing list. Summarize. One message. Button.
If I navigate to the top, there's a summarize button. Let's try that.
Loading summary. One message. Students created smart glasses that can identify people, raising ethical questions. The glasses are not illegal but highlight privacy concerns.
Interesting. I might watch that show, especially as we're so interested in using wearables to help us describe the world. So that's the summary. It saved me from having to read the whole email. Okay, here's another option that we're starting to see pop up in emails, and that is the ability to unsubscribe pretty easy. So up here near the top, I see this now.
Message header. This message is from a mailing list.
And if I go past that.
Close. Button. Image. Unsubscribe. Button.
There's a button there to unsubscribe. That will effectively remove me from that mailing list. I've tried it a couple times and it seems to work pretty well. And then finally, with the introduction of Apple Intelligence, we've started to see a notion of categories in our inbox. And that's where the AI has tried to categorize emails as it come in. It can be problematic as sometimes it does not sort things correctly. It will probably get better over time, but a lot of us prefer our emails in list view. So if you go over to a phone that has Apple Intelligence, a lot of times categories will be enabled by default. And so what happens is as you go through the top of your inbox, for example, you're going to hear those categories listed. And I'll show you here. If I just start at the top and flick my way through.
Box, heading, select, button, more, button, search field, dictate, button, messages, selected, primary.
Primary, that's the category, primary.
Transactions, updates, promotions, Brian Clark, VoiceOver tutorial backdrop image.
And so there's 4 categories there, and it will sort and put emails into that category. I don't really like that. I like to see all of my emails in a box. That way I make sure I'm not missing anything. To do that, we have to utilize the More button at the top. So I'm going to swipe back to the left and locate that More button.
Select, dictate, search field, More, button. Categories.
And then I'm going to choose List.
List view. Messages, Brian Clark, VoiceOver tutorial backdrop.
And that will get rid of the categories and just dump everything into a long list view. I hope these are helpful and convenient to you. I'm sure Dieter will appreciate the efficiency with which we can do email.
Efficiency is paramount.